The real stars are waiting for you in the backstage. Have you all came to see We Will Rock You this cruise? And wasn't it absolutely fantastic? Did you love it? Oh, perfect. Well, you're in for a treat then, because we have 5 of our stars waiting anxious for you, including the leading lady herself,
Well, one, the producer is doing something that
So, are we ready to meet your first star?
And the guitarist is playing in one of the other
I said, are you ready to meet your first star?
Yeah.
All right, we are going to have first up, he is your pop. This is Jason.
Who's it? Who's in the show?
I like it, take it. He's ready. Oh, he's milking it. Give him a round of applause, everyone. Thank you.
1, 2.
We're on. So
Hi, everybody.
Everyone say hi, Jason.
Hi. Thanks for showing up. We didn't know who was going to be here, but when you have food nearby, there's always a guaranteed crowd, I think.
Always, for sure. So Jason, how are you doing today? You had obviously a show last night. Are you feeling it?
It was a great show, actually.
Great show.
Yeah, it's been a nice 3 days. I don't know if you folks know, this is the last time we're going to be here in Southampton. They probably mentioned that a few times. So it's kind of a special last 3 shows, actually, to get to perform for a British audience primarily. So it's nice to be doing the show like this.
Yeah, of course. Actually, because we're obviously going over to Asia, is there anything specifically for your role as pop that will change once we go to that different market?
Well, I've started studying Mandarin.
Of course, it makes sense.
No, I think there's a little gag at the beginning where I say Global Soft took over because of Britain's Got Talent, basically. So I think we're going to try and figure out if Singapore has an equivalent style show like The Voice or Singapore's Got Talent. I don't know. I'll do research. I have many days to figure that out.
We have a lot of time. So tell us a bit about yourself. Where are you from? What is your background, education?
I am from the United States. Anybody else from the U.S. here?
One couple.
Nice to see you. Get me off the ship. No, it's actually been great to be the only American in the cast. I actually am kind of an Anglophile. Like, I like British culture. I grew up, like anybody in the United States, watching a lot of films with British actors in them. And it was not until I kind of sailed out of Southampton that I realized that not all British people are classy.
Absolutely not.
I thought they all knew Shakespearean soliloquies, but they can be a little trashy too. No offense. In a good way, in a fun way.
Yeah, of course. In a fun way.
In a fun way.
I don't find it insulting, no. I love it. So yeah, tell us a bit about So where did you study? How did you get into this job?
Right. I'm from the state of Virginia. I'm on a city called Virginia Beach. And I started studying, I really started performing in high school and then in college and then working professionally after that. But I come from a family of performers on my dad's side. I have aunts and uncles that performed on Broadway, which is something I didn't really know until I was an adult. Because when I was growing up in Virginia Beach, that's where they lived. And I had no idea that my Aunt Faye or my Uncle Anthony and my Aunt Barbara had all done these tours and worked on Broadway. It wasn't a part of their identity. By the time when I was growing up, they just had kids and big families. So
it was kind of within your soul.
It was meant to be. What would happen was every Christmas we'd have these big Winfield family parties. A lot of people, tons of cousins. And at some point during the party, my Uncle Billy would take to the piano, and it would become basically a talent show of family members coming up and singing Christmas carols or big belting numbers. And it was just suddenly you're like, Aunt Faye is really good at singing.
That's lovely. So this isn't your first ship contract, right? You've done many ships before that. Tell us a bit about that.
Yes, well, this is my second with Royal Caribbean, and I've only done part of a contract with Norwegian Cruise Lines. But my wife had actually worked for Royal Caribbean. She had done Greece, but I got to work for the first time on Royal Caribbean in Saturday Night Fever. I played this character called DJ Monty. It was a really big character part. but it was lovely. We worked out of Galveston, and it was a great experience. I got to work with my wife. That was one of the best things, because these contracts are so long, so not being with your partner is kind of difficult.
Of course. So tell us your favorite thing about working on this ship. What do you like about working on a cruise ship?
About the ship?
Yeah.
I mean, I love the travel. I love the opportunity it affords us to see places that I may not have gone to ever in my life. Yeah.
Of course, it's like right on our doorstep. We just wake up and it's like
you roll out, and you roll out of bed literally into Lisbon or I don't know, Norway.
Nice
we went to Norway.
Yeah, we went to Norway.
And we've been very lucky.
Not many to choose from this trip.
And I think in the performing arts, like you could very easily just be working in a location. If you're in New York, you're just working on Broadway, and maybe you just kind of spend your time there and occasionally go on vacation. And this is the best of both worlds.
Yeah, of course. That sounds really lovely. Well, thank you so much, Jason. Everyone give him a big round of applause. Thank you. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, we will be opening up the floor towards the end, and you can ask them all your own burning questions. So think up. Next up, we are going to have, he is your dancer. This is Sam Lovelock. Give him a big round of applause, everyone. He's already dancing. Hello, Sam. Take a little seat. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. So this is Sam. Did you all recognize him from We Will Rock You? He does many things in that show. He's a beautiful dancer. You do a lot of quick changes in the show, right? I actually noticed last night you did a really quick one.
I do.
Yeah.
I do a lot, actually.
Into your lab coat was a really, really fast change for you. You left it on a number very quickly.
That was a fast one, but there is an even faster one. I think it's probably about 10 seconds.
10 seconds.
Yeah, where I'm as a bohemian with my massive wig on, sprint off stage, get on a whole cop suit and a helmet and gloves, and run back on for the fight scene, if anyone remembers it.
He's straight back in. So this is actually Sam's first ship contract.
Yeah.
It is indeed. Sam is a baby. He's one of the babies of the team. So tell us a bit about where you studied and how you got into this job.
So, when I was in year 7, I was in a local little dance school, and I don't know if anyone's heard of it, but there's a school in London called Italia Conti, and the principal of the school came to watch the show and asked me to audition. So I auditioned, and then I studied there instead of doing like a normal secondary school. So I trained there till I was in year 11, and then I went to a college called Wilkes Academy for 3 years, and then came here before I actually graduated. So yeah, quite
So
a few
you
years of
didn't
training.
even graduate?
No.
So did you audition while you were still in college? You went to audition?
Yeah, I auditioned December of last year, and I was meant to graduate this summer.
Wow, that's really impressive, by the way, everyone. Please give him a big round of applause. It's not very likely that happens. Normally you kind of finish with college and you'll be auditioning for a while. Was this your first audition that you went for?
It was my first audition as an adult. When I was younger, I used to do like kid auditions, so I did them all the time. I was in Matilda the musical when I was little, but yeah, this is my first like actual professional big audition. Yeah.
Big adult job. That's really impressive, Sam. I actually didn't know that about you. Sam's actually my friend, and I didn't know that, so I'm also learning that right now. So, what is your favorite thing about working on this ship?
My favorite thing, I love the traveling. Obviously, it's the massive luxury of this job. Get to do what I love every day, and you meet so many new people from everywhere, from like Scotland, Greece, like everywhere. You've got so many people on the ship that you can just make friends with that you wouldn't normally get to meet in real life.
Yeah, of course. And you're here for a long period of time. It's about 12 months in total. You're kind of contracted.
So it's 10 months on the ship, and before we come to the ship, we do 2 months training in Miami. So we get to live in Miami for 2 months, which is great. And then
Tell
10
us
months.
a little bit about that rehearsal process in Miami. Was it long and hard?
Yeah. Too bad, but it's what you love doing, so it's not really like, you don't feel like it's long, but you're there every day. You get 1 day off a week. You live on the campus, so you're a 5-minute walk from the rehearsal studios, and then and we had 3 shows to learn, so we were there for a while. It was a lot of hard work, but it was great.
That's good, that's very nice. So what is your favorite thing, favorite moment in We Will Rock You? Do you have a favorite dance part or a favorite scene?
For me, my favorite thing that I do would be, I just love being in the yuppie stuff, so that's like Killer Queen, Magic, Another One Bites the Dust, but I just love everything that Scaramouche does. It's fucking bloody hilarious. I didn't say anything.
I'm so sorry about Sam.
I'm so sorry.
They're all laughing, it's okay.
Oh my god.
Scaramouche, I'm laughing. Sam, oh Sam. As I said, Sam is one of the youngest ones in the cast. You would never know. Normally he's very, very smart and, you know, very adult, very active.
This is the first thing I've done where they ask me questions like this. I'm sorry, guys.
We forgive him, right? You all forgive him. Yes, of course they do. Well, so if you don't say anything else, Sam, it is your time. Thank you so much. Going forward to this side. All right, guys, we are going to have our next Sam to the stage. So that was Little Sam. This is Big Sam, and he is your Khashoggi. Sam, how are you?
Oh yeah.
Who am I?
How are you?
How am I? Thanks. Yeah, how are you?
I'm quite good. So, obviously, Sam was on stage as Khashoggi this week. Wasn't he fantastic? He was. But a fun fact, he is actually our understudy Khashoggi.
Yeah.
I know, right? Can you tell us a little bit about that, Sam? How is that going for you?
Yeah, good. It was actually my first shows this cruise on for Khashoggi. On this cruise, I have done the show before and done Khashoggi elsewhere, but in terms of this contract and being on the ship, it was my first set of shows. So yeah, you've got that added kind of pressure, I guess,
That's
it being the
amazing.
first one. So but it was great fun, and the audiences were well good. So yeah.
Yeah, I was in last night and I absolutely loved it. I'm very proud of you. You did such a good job. It was an amazing Khashoggi. Do you like playing Khashoggi?
I do. Yeah, I'd say I cover a couple of characters. I'd say Khashoggi is my favourite.
Absolutely. I like the evilness of it.
Yeah.
Do you like being a little bit evil?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Just somewhere deep down it comes out.
I think so. Yeah, somewhere deep in there. Yeah.
And how is it to work with Michelle, our
it's
Killer
amazing.
Queen?
Yeah, I mean, she's just the best. I mean, even from when we started rehearsals, you know, way back in Miami in March, you know, we hit it off straight away, really good friends. To then go on and do that kind of role with her and opposite her was just awesome. And she's like the most top professional on and off stage. She's just brilliant. So
Yeah,
it was
absolutely.
great.
So tell us a little about, you did We Will Rock You actually, the tour, right?
Yeah.
In the UK, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, I did it as a teenager first, like at college when I was 16, and then I did it in 2019 on the UK tour, and then I did it last summer in the West End, and now I'm doing it on the ship. So it's been a show that I've come back to really for the last like 20 years, to be honest. So yeah.
So does it mean a lot to you, this show? Do you
Yeah, definitely. The music's just, you know, you just can't beat the best score, you know, in the music you can probably have, the Queen music. And it's fun, it's got a bit of everything, hasn't it? And it kind of like suits all ages, I think. So.
Of course. And how would you say the show on board Anthem of the Seas compares to the touring show?
Well, the biggest difference is that it's straight through for the hour and 50 minutes, whereas on land you have an interval and it's a little bit longer. There's a couple of songs on the ship version that aren't in the show on land. But I actually love this version. I like the fact that it runs straight through because it's not so jarring, I guess, having that break in the middle, which I know is traditional for theatre to have, but I really like this version. And also as an actor, you don't have that kind of shift in the middle of the night where you have to pick your energy back up. It's like once you started just straight through to the end and you see things all the way through, so I really like it.
Yeah, this is actually Sam's first ship contract. So you've done many jobs on land. What other shows have you done?
I did Mamma Mia on a tour, I did Wicked in the West End, Cinderella in the West End as well, so yeah, it's mainly land work that I've done, but being on a ship and getting the added bonuses of travelling and, you know, meeting people from all over the world and just the experience of living on a ship has been amazing. I'm loving it, to be honest.
You're loving it.
Yeah,
We're glad to hear that. I love having you here, Sam.
Yeah.
Sam's a great person to have aboard. He's a ray of sunshine and positivity going around the ship. It's really nice. So tell us a little about where you studied and where you trained.
Yeah, so I'm from just outside Wolverhampton in the UK, and yeah, I did like Anthem all through, from when I was 8 years old all the way through to like 19, and then I went to drama school, went to the Guildford School of Acting, graduated in 2013, and then just been working ever since, kind of here, there, and everywhere. So.
Working ever since. It's very lucky. You've done very well for yourself, absolutely. And would you say you're really enjoying the ship life, that you would keep that going for a little while?
Yeah, I think so. There's just so many added bonuses to working on a ship, and unfortunately, the truth is as well on land, the financial kind of reward for the work on land isn't perhaps what people would think. Whereas on a ship, the kind of work-life balance with all the travelling and the financial gain is a lot better. So people often would think, the West End, it must be so well paid, but the reality is a lot of people work in that environment, and how the jobs they have to do, whether it be, reception work in the day, you wouldn't think it at that kind of level, but that is the reality of it nowadays. It's not as well paid as it used to be. So to be on a ship and all the added bonuses of all of that, for me at the minute, at this stage in life, is perfect. So yeah,
one last question for you. What was your favourite Khashoggi moment?
Probably Seven Seas of Ride. I think last night.
That's my favourite as well.
Yeah,
love it.
I love that moment. And the scene that goes into it as well, you just really lose yourself in it. So I think that's probably my favourite moment.
Well, thank you so much, Sam. Everyone give Sam a big round of applause. You can go and join the boys on the side.
No, stop now.
All right, we have one more of our dancers for you. This is Aiden Steele. Come on down, Aiden. Hi, Aiden.
Hi, Jenna.
How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So, I've asked them pretty much the same thing, so you know what's going to come to you. So what do you like about being here on this ship?
I just love the friends that you get to meet. Like, in this industry, like, you meet so many people all the time, like auditions and shows and training, and just like going to class and stuff, especially in London, you meet so many different people, but it's kind of come and go because everyone gets different jobs all around the world, so you never get to stick with the same people for more than a few months. But on the ship, you are stuck with the same people every day for a whole year.
A whole year.
Yeah.
Would you say you're very lucky with your cast? You feel quite like a family atmosphere?
Yeah, we couldn't have asked for a better cast. We are like so close. It's like a big family, and you can know that you can just knock on anyone's door at any time.
It's really important when you're far away from home as well to have that. So Aiden's also a fellow Scot.
Yes,
Tell us about where you studied, Aiden.
So I actually didn't study in like musical theatre or anything kind of similar to this for a few years. I started off at like ballet school and I did a lot of training in ballet up until I was about 16, 17, and then just like last minute decided I don't want to do that as my job. It's not as rewarding as it seems. And then I decided when I was going to go to college for ballet, actually I'm gonna just switch up and start singing and
Just
like
thought, okay, I'll just sing one day, see what happens.
Yeah, and then I auditioned for some of the top schools in London and got into one called Bird College. And then went there for 3 years and I graduated last year and then I'm here now.
You're here now. How was living in London for you? How'd you find that?
It is my favourite place in the entire world. I cannot wait to go back. As much as I love this job and I love everything about it, London just has something that nowhere else does, and I'm so excited to go back and be there again.
Yes, is London your home now over Scotland?
Yeah, for probably the next couple of years, I don't think I could live in Scotland.
We understand, it makes sense, we get it, we absolutely do get it. So, did you audition for other shows before this one?
I auditioned for a couple of royal shows. Before this I did a UK tour, just like a little variety show. And then got this, but I wanted to rock you from the first time I auditioned for it with Royal just because it is such a fun show.
Of course, yeah. Would you say you really set your mind on what you wanted to do and you kind of work towards exactly that?
Yeah, I mean there's definitely other shows that I would love to do in my career, of course, but I just think it's such a hard career to get into that when you get something that you are passionate about, you just take it and see what comes along with it.
So what made you want to come into ships first of all? Was it you wanted the travel aspect?
Yeah, being so young, like, as much as I love London, being stuck in one place can be a bit jarring. Like, while I'm young, I'd like to see as much of the world, and this contract couldn't be a better opportunity to do that. We see so many amazing places every day. So yeah, I get to travel, just like save up a little bit of money while I'm this age, and I get to do a show that's not really around as often as some other shows are.
Yeah. Would you say that ship life is everything you thought it would be and better?
Yeah, there's some aspects that are a lot better, and there's some aspects that are hard, just like every aspect of anyone's life. But it's just something you adapt to and get used to.
Of course. And last question for you: what's your favourite thing about doing We Will Rock You?
It's just such a fun show. Like you can, especially in all the scenes, not as much dancing because the dancing is hard and the numbers are hard. But like in the scenes, you can really have fun.
Yeah.
There's
I
not a lot
see
of
you guys are
seriousness.
having fun.
Yeah.
You can see them; they're all kind of like going against like. Rah.
Yeah, there's not a lot of seriousness in it, which is such an easy thing to do when you do it so often. Like it's so fun to just have fun.
Oh well, thank you so much, AJ.
Thank
You
you.
can go and sit to the side.
Thanks.
So guys, yes, give him a clap right there. So last up, she is your Scaramouche. This is Liz. Hi Liz. Come take a little seat.
Hello, we get to do something together.
Finally! So this is Liz, everyone. If you didn't actually know, Liz is basically Scaramouche, actually in real life form. In the kindest way possible.
Yeah.
Would you say you quite identify with the character?
Yes. Yes, I do. I'm very much like her. It was quite an easy role for me to slip into because I kind of speak like that anyway. Not everything, but some things. Yeah.
So, Liz, what's your favourite thing about doing We Will Rock You? Was it a show that you always set out that you wanted to do?
Yeah, so I first got introduced to the show I think I was at my first drama school, I was like 18, and we did like an audition tech, like practice class, and someone came in and did a routine from We Will Rock You, and that's kind of how I got introduced to the show, and then I watched it on like YouTube, and I fell in love with it. Always wanted to be Scaramouche. Yeah, and then here I am, I guess. So,
Just kind of fell into it, just kind of got it, that was it.
I mean, my audition story for this is actually quite bizarre,
Tell
really.
us.
So I auditioned at the same time. Hello. I auditioned at the same time that everyone else did back in, I think it was in November or December last year, something. I auditioned at the same time as everyone else, and I never heard anything.
That's always fun, isn't it?
And then time went by, and I was like, okay, I haven't got the job. I think an old Scaramouche was meant to come back, and then that ended up falling through. And then I was a little bit upset about it because I really wanted this job. Anyways, fast forward a few months, it was like a month before this contract was starting, and my agent contacted me again and was like, look, they never found anyone to play Scaramouche, will you re-audition? And I was like, yeah, and then I got the job, and I'm thrilled to be here.
Of course.
Yeah.
So did you go to Miami with everyone else as well?
I did. So I got the job about, I think it was about 4 or 5 weeks before the contract started. Normally you know about 2 or 3 months in advance. But actually I was really happy to kind of not sit at home and linger and think. I just kind of I got the job, and then I was gone, and it was actually really great because I was working in a pub at the time and I just did not want to be there. So yeah.
There you go. Scaramouche works in a pub when she's at home, so she's normal, just like the rest of you. Yeah. So tell us a bit about where you trained.
So I went to drama school at 18. And I went to a place not too far from me. I'm from Hertfordshire. If there's any other Hertfordshire people in here? No. And there's a drama school in Hertfordshire called the Emildale Academy, and I went there for 3 years. And then I took some time out, and I kind of did like normal things, like normal jobs and stuff, you know. And then that dreaded 2020 happened, and then I kind of thought to myself, I wasn't doing ultimately what I wanted to be doing, and I was like, come on, let's get a grip, like. So then I decided that I wanted to go back to drama school, so I did at the age of 24, and then I went to drama school for a year at a place called London School of Musical Theatre, which is in central London, near London Bridge. And I went back there for a year, and that's how that happened, and then, yeah.
Then just got into it. This isn't your first ship contract either, is it? So where else have you worked?
So this is my second contract. I did a contract last year on another cruise line,
which we won't name.
Which I won't name.
No.
I had a really good time, but I'm not going to name them because I'm not on their ship anymore. But I did another contract, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to come back and do another contract, because I love ship life. I absolutely love it. I love being away. I love living on board. I love not having to make my own food. I also love not having to wash the dishes and put stuff in the dishwasher. It's always quite fun. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. So what's your favourite thing about We Will Rock You and getting to that show on board Anthem of the Seas?
So many things. If I was to sit here and say my favourite part of the show, I'd end up saying like so many parts. I love the wasteland scene, the scary bush scene, if anyone remembers that. I love the concert at the end. We Will Rock You is probably one of my favourite parts of the show. Just love it. I just love it.
Do you have a favourite line or a favourite scene, favourite moment?
I have some favourite lines.
Tell us.
I'm gonna say a naughty word. So if there's any children in the room, they saw the show anyway, do you know what I mean? Sounds like bollocks to me, I like that.
That's your favourite line.
Or scary bush is always a funny one. Actually, in rehearsals, I used to find that line so funny that I actually couldn't get through it without laughing. And it was only until we literally opened the show and I got on the ship that I actually got over the fact that I found that line so funny. But it was terrible. In rehearsals, I was terrible with something.
But it is funny though.
Yeah.
Like I've seen the show like 5 times now and I'm still like, it's so funny.
Sometimes I have to do a little turn to the back because I'm like, I'm about to laugh. And do you know whose fault it is? Jason's. It's his fault because he makes me laugh. And even though we've done it, God knows how many times, there's some bits we do the same every time and I still find it just as funny as I did when we first did it back in rehearsals, but I'm getting better.
Getting better.
I'm getting
That's the
better.
main thing, that's the main thing.
Yeah. At holding composure.
Hold the composure.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got one last question to you before we open it up to the floor. What would you say is the thing that gets you through being away from home and being on the ship this amount of time?
I personally do find it I don't find it too difficult being away from home. I think it's all about the people you do it with, right? This contract wouldn't be what it is if I didn't have the people that I had around me. And like Aidan said, we're so fortunate to have such a wonderful cast. Everyone is so nice, and there's, you know, it's more like we're all like family at this point. It's not even like friends anymore. We're like just a bunch of brothers and sisters living together. Do you know what I mean? So like, and I mean, I think it's all down to the people that I have around me that it makes it so easy and
Pulls you through every time.
pulls me through.
Thank you so much, Liz. Go and take your seat with everyone. So guys, this is the point where we'd like to open up the floor to you all. Do you all have some questions? I have Claire standing beside and also one of our technicians here as well. Come on, let us know. You can ask them anything. You can ask them what they guess. We have a question right here down at the front. Claire is just going to go for a little run to you. Run, Claire, run! Run!
Do you want my help? Just go up.
And if you've still got questions, think about them and raise your hand for us, okay?
You'd expect us to give the first question to you, Lizzie, wouldn't you? Did you always, when you went for auditions, did you ever go as a swing, or was it always just to be Scaramouche?
For this job specifically, it was just to be Scaramouche. Yeah.
And was it done from one of the college's NVIDIA productions, or was it done from somewhere else that they found you?
So I have an agent, as I think most of us do, and basically what agents do is they find you auditions, they email you like, you've got an audition for this, please accept or deny. And then that was pretty much how this happened, but for a lot of the time on Royal Caribbean, when you do the shows, you have to send in a self-tape first, which I hate doing. I would rather go in the room and audition for them, because when you do a self-tape, when you go into a room, you have one opportunity. When you do a self-tape, you watch it over and over again, and you're like, no, rubbish, I'm doing it again. But this time it was a self-tape that my agent emailed, and that's
Apologies on the shit.
Do we have another question?
Some of the days have been done.
So also to add on to that, the We Will Rock You, we've got a question upstairs. Yeah, Claire, go for a run. Go for a run on upstairs. I've got one question upstairs. I'm gonna walk very carefully. I hope it's rocky and I'm not gonna work. Don't worry, we'll get up to you. I'm gonna do the speed walk. Don't worry, but I'll add on to there. Royal Caribbean does auditions worldwide for all of their shows. So for this show, it was specifically for We Will Rock You that they specifically cast for this show. So they have open auditions where they say, we're looking for dancers, we're looking for dancer singers, or we're specifically looking for leading roles. So that is how they will come in and do the auditions. Because as much as they do send the self-tapes,
I mean, yeah, but people do. So Sam, tell them about you.
Tell them, Sam.
Yeah, I actually didn't audition for this. I auditioned for Grease, the musical. I didn't get that, so they decided to send me here instead. So if there's like something else that's casting with like a similar casting team, they might be like, oh, you fit this role better than you'd fit another role, if that makes any sense.
Yes, thank you. Okay, Claire, she is upstairs.
What does Bohemian Rhapsody mean?
What does Bohemian Rhapsody mean? Do any of you know?
What does it mean? I guess it's a celebration of the Bohemians coming together in their Rhapsody and then rocking out and sticking it to the man and everyone just having a good time. Is that what it means?
I think that's good, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're asking about the original song, is that correct? The original, like, Queen Bohemian Rhapsody. I mean, it's a little bit of a, it's kind of a surreal take on kind of this artistic ecstasy that the characters in the song feel. And it doesn't even matter if the words make sense. It's literally a song about a feeling, about the rhapsody of how music and how art can make you feel. I think that was kind of the intention. At least that's what I took away from the Queen rock musical that I watched on the ship recently.
Beautiful. Okay, another question. We have two down here. Can we get a microphone down here? Oh, Claire's ran again. Raise your hand for us. Yes. Oh, we've got another question here. Okay, you go first, my dear.
Have any of you worked together before, or was this the first time?
I believe this is the first time we've all worked with one another.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's other people in the cast that have worked together. But most of the British folks, which is everybody, you guys all know people within the theater community. You kind of like there's a lot of mutual friends, yeah.
And I actually went to college with the girl that played Pete. She was from the year below me at college, so you get these little connections, and I haven't seen Lizzie for years, and then we were in a class together, 10 years later. So
and Jacob went to your same school.
Yeah.
Years later. There's kind of threads of connection between all of us. Yeah.
Thank you. And next question.
Yeah. Once you finish this contract and you've had a bit of a rest, could I just ask what your dream roles will be?
I mean, I am a dancer. I never really aspire to be a Scaramouche or a Galileo. I mean, I think it is an amazing talent to have, but dance is the thing that holds my heart. I would love to be in a show like Cats or any really dancing musical, but Cats is probably one of my top tier favourites. I'd like to do a couple other ships. So there's like Saturday Night Fever and Cats and Grease and stuff that Royal Caribbean also do. So I can hold my luck for one of them, but you never know with this industry, you're never guaranteed anything. This could be my last job, but hopefully it's not.
I just want to sing, So, I mean, there's a few shows I'd love to be in. I'd love to be in Beetlejuice, the musicale. I would also love to do Les Mis. That's one of my dream musicals. So we've got a fan of Les Mis over there. Is there like a beeping sound, or is that in my head? There is. Oh. Okay, I'm not going crazy. Where was I? Les Mis. Yeah, I actually, and I need to tell you about this because my dream role in musical theatre is to play the Artful Dodger in Oliver Twist. But I'm never going to play that because I'm not an 11-year-old boy. So, but it is my dream role, and I do actually perform Consider Yourself to these guys all the time. If you're thinking they must be getting ready backstage, like getting in the zone, no. I am stood there singing Consider Yourself to this lot in the dressing room. Near enough, I'm not doing it. No, I'm not, you cannot. No, I did not. So that we got a surprise CJ, they want it. No, I basically, Jason tried to get me to do it today because I obviously said, I said to him that you need to do Meet the Stars with me, please, or I'm going to cry. And he was like, only if you do Consider Yourself. And I said, no. So he's actually, this is a lie.
You're not letting me down, you're letting your fans Well, that was my dream role too.
I think for me, I'd love to do Matilda. I think that's a big one for me. I'd love to eventually become Oldham to play Mr. Trunchbull or Mr. Wormwood in that. Les Mis is another one I'd really like to do. And also, like 10 years in there into my career, I'd love to do a play. I'd love to, kind of push the singing to the side for a contract and just do some acting and do a really gritty play. That's something I aspire to do. So fingers crossed, maybe one day.
Sam, dream role?
Yeah, like Aidan, I think I'm built to be a dancer in these shows. I'm not going to be a pop ever in my life. However, I would love to be in, I think, Grease, Hairspray, something like just really dancey. I'd love to go back to Matilda as well, so maybe me and Sam be in the same cast. Yeah.
I would love to do. First of all, I'm really enjoying the show. Like I really fell in love with doing the part of Pop, and I'm in the show. In fact, I didn't know it very well. It's not as well known in the States. So had I known this show as I do now, I think it would have been kind of a dream role to do because I've kind of fallen in love with it. But I would love to do a show like Sweeney Todd, playing Sweeney Todd, or if I had the chops, I mean, like Les Mis would be amazing to do a sung through show like that. It's so beautiful. Shows like that would be gorgeous. Family opera when I was a kid, I always wanted to do that, but I don't know that I would now. Yeah.
Great, well that was a great question. We have another one down at the front here.
I don't really have a question, it's more I wanted to say something. So I'm a massive fan of musical theatre, I absolutely love it, and I've seen the show on the boat a couple of times, and I absolutely loved it. Can anybody agree with me? Is Pop Jason looks completely different in real life? I was so shocked when you came out. Anyway, I just want to say, yeah, I've never seen Movie Rocky before. This is my first time seeing it. But I think Scaramouche, Liz, I think you've set the bar so high that I don't think anybody else could replace that for me anyway. So you're all brilliant.
Thank you so much. I think we have one more question just behind you, Claire.
Hi, I've seen the show twice on board and I think it's just absolutely fabulous. But I remember seeing it back around 2005 in the Dominion Theatre in London. Has the storyline changed slightly, or have I just forgotten?
So, as far as I'm aware, I mean, Sam can probably confirm this information, he knows the show a lot better than I do. The show's changed a lot over the years. So when you would have seen it in 2005, obviously there's someone called Lady Gaga in the show. Lady Gaga, that would have been another artist because it's kind of, this is one of those, as we grow and society grows, the show grows with it, essentially. So the version, so it's if you were to go and watch it in the West End now or the UK tour now, it's completely different. Am I right? Yeah.
Right.
But this version on the ship is the only current version that is the same as the original. Is that right? You can confirm that information.
Yeah, it's the only version now on the ship that kind of goes back to that original Dominion version. I mean, for instance, I've done it 3 times, and each time I've done it, we've had different costumes each time, different set each time, even a different choreographer for every version I've done.
Yeah.
So yeah, even not to name clan, but when I did it last summer, Ben Elton was kind of he was in the show and kind of directed it as well. And I know that his thing with the show is it never like just stops and stays what it is. It's always progressing and changing and adapting, because the nature of the show when it first came out, there were a lot of things within the show that you can't, the kind of storylines kind of preempted actually happening in real life. There are a lot of ways in which we live now that are quite similar with being attached to our phones and that kind of like, it was back in 2002 when it came out, life wasn't so much like that. So the shows had to adapt with the times, because it was still the original version from 2002 when it came out. It would almost seem quite outdated now. So as like, you know, more pop stars have come through and things have changed within the world, that's kind of affected the narrative and the storyline of We Will Rock You. So it's quite a cool show that is constantly evolving, and if it was done in another 10 years time, I imagine it would have adapted again. The songs would stay the same, but the storyline would have to somehow change a little bit. So yeah.
Thank you very much, thank you.
Good questions. Okay, we've got time for one last question.
Oh, I have them right behind me.
There we go, just right behind you, Claire. She's right there.
Hi. Do you have rolling contracts, or do you have to reapply for a new contract?
So with most musical theatre, well, with all musical theatre jobs, whether it's on like a ship in the West End, in Broadway, anywhere in the world, you are guaranteed that 1 year. So with this, we have our contract started in March 2024 and it'll finish March 2025, and then we could potentially never work again, but the chances of that are very slim because we're all very talented individuals. But the industry is really hard, and it's really hard to explain to someone who isn't in it every day, because as a job it also just becomes your entire life. Like, you are so inspired to do the work that you want to do, but again, nothing is ever guaranteed. And something that, I don't know if everyone was told this, but something we were told all the time through training is, you are good, but there's always someone better. So you just have to always up yourself, and you can never stop training and practicing, because you're never the best. There's always someone better, and that's why you're never guaranteed anything. But that doesn't discourage anyone, because the love for like the job and the inspiration just kind of comes over everything. So yeah, we're not guaranteed anything else, but I'm sure we're all gonna work again, I hope.
Yeah, Royal are really great they're really loyal to the people that, Royal are really loyal to their performers. A lot of people, there are some people that have done many contracts with Royal, and they will always, you can always say, you know, I'd like to come back and do this contract, and they will very much consider you. A lot of the people on this contract, actually, I think most of the cast are rehires from Royal. So yeah, but you know, for the most part, we will all go home, and then, you know, a couple of us I'll probably go start pouring pints again for a while, and then start auditioning, and then hopefully get another job. It's just, I mean, this career is a little bit all over the place, but I would rather deal with that and be doing what I want to be doing than not. Does anyone have anything else to say? No. Thank you for your question.
Well, thank you all very much for joining us. Can we please give the cast of We Will Rock You a massive round of applause? Thank you for joining us today. Thank you all for joining us today on Tuesday. My name is Jenna. On behalf of myself, the We Will Rock You cast, and our cruiser.